Have you ever seen a woman who instantly caught your attention, but you froze because you didn't know what to say or how to approach her? You're not alone. It happens to most men. In this video, I'm going to share powerful tips that will help you break the ice, spark a natural conversation, and actually get her interested in talking to you. Forget cheesy pickup lines or awkward small talk. I'll show you how to confidently approach a woman, start a conversation that flows, and leave her wanting to see you again. Okay, let's start with two main points you need to keep in mind when approaching a girl. First, you need to break the ice in a way that doesn't involve commenting on her physical appearance or saying anything sexual. You have to understand that we, as women, imagine that very attractive girl you want to approach, are used to walking down the street and having men whistle, yell things at us from cars, or even shout, "Marry me," without knowing us at all. We're constantly bombarded with comments that make us put up walls and go on the defensive. So when someone new tries to approach, our instinct is to think, "No, I don't want anything to do with you." Usually because men say or do things that make us defensive right away. So, what do you need to do? Approach her in a way that lowers her defenses, so she feels safe enough to have a normal conversation with you. Second, this one is harder to admit, and if I see you on the street, I'll deny I ever said it, but you need to play a little with a woman's ego. Yes, sir, if you're dealing with an attractive woman, she probably has a high ego because she's used to men telling her how pretty she is, how amazing she looks, how she's the love of their life, or exactly what they've always wanted. If you use the same phrases, she'll just think you're one more out of the bunch, nothing new or interesting. So don't put her on a pedestal right from the start. If you like her, don't make it so obvious the very first time you talk to her. So, what should you do instead? Grab her attention. There are several ways. You can be funny. Women love to laugh. And that alone can play in your favor. You can also make her feel that she's not the center of attention in the situation. If she's with friends and you pay more attention to them instead of her, she might wonder, "Wait, why isn't he focused on me?" This curiosity could make her approach you to find out. Another option is to show something interesting about yourself. Share a story, talk about a passion, or point out a small detail you noticed about her. Pay attention. It could be something she's doing, something in her outfit, or even a tattoo. If you point out something subtle that most people wouldn't notice, she'll think, "Wow, he actually noticed this." That immediately makes you stand out, grabs her attention, and opens the door to a longer conversation. Now, let's talk about the two situations where you might meet someone who attracts you. A one-time encounter, where you know you may never see her again, like on the street, in a cafe, at the supermarket, or at a bar. A repeated encounter, where you see her often but haven't had the courage to approach her yet, like at the office, school, or gym. Let's start with the first scenario, the one-time encounter. Here you need to remember 3 key points. You probably don't have much time to build interest. Your clear goal is to get a way to contact her later, her phone number, or a social media handle. You should be the one to end the conversation and walk away. Why? Because if you leave first, she'll stay curious and interested in talking to you again. Plus, it prevents you from running out of things to say. In this situation, you also need to apply the earlier 2 points. Break the ice without focusing on her looks and play smartly with her ego. Show interest in something she's doing. For example, if you see her in a cafe drawing, ask her about what she's drawing or about her hobbies. If you meet her on the street, comment on something she's wearing that stands out. If it's something she's clearly passionate about, like a tattoo, she'll likely open up and talk about it. And if you're the one who ends the conversation, she'll be left wanting to continue telling you more. At that moment, she's hooked and much more likely to give you her contact info. In the second situation, the one where you come across her more frequently, there are some similarities with the first case. First, the conversation should still be short, and you should be the one to end it. This leaves her more interested in continuing the conversation later. Second, you still need to break the ice in a different way. And just like I mentioned before, you should not talk about how attractive or beautiful she is. Now, the differences. 1. You'll have more time to approach her and it won't feel rushed. And 2. Your goal here isn't to get her contact information right away, not her phone number, not her social media. Instead, the first thing you want to do is put yourself on her radar. That way, by the second or third time you meet, it'll be much easier to ask for her contact details. Another benefit of this type of situation is that, since you see her more often, you'll have more chances to notice if she shows any signs of interest. I actually explain those signs much better in another video I'll leave linked here, so you can understand what I mean. Let me mention a couple of scenarios where this might happen. At the office or at the gym. If it's at the office, you've probably seen her several times, maybe you know someone who knows her, or you've found out what she works on. That could make approaching her a little easier. The advantage is, if you know her name, you can look her up on social media and find out more about her interests. That way, you'll know what topics might catch her attention. But if you do this, please don't bring it up the very first time you talk to her. That would be too soon. Save it for maybe the third conversation, when there's already some trust. At that point, you could say something playful like, "Okay, I have to confess. I looked you up, and that's how I found out this or that about you." That's when you mention it. If it's at the gym, you probably already know her routine. Maybe she uses the treadmill, maybe she lifts weights, maybe she focuses on legs or arms. Whatever it is, you have an idea. That gives you an easy way to start a conversation. For example, if she's on the treadmill, you could ask how many kilometers she usually runs, if she likes running outdoors too, or what else she enjoys. Or if she's lifting weights, you can ask about her routine. These topics are natural and fit the context, and they'll make it easier to start talking to her. So, this was a basic guide on how to approach someone you're interested in. Honestly, this is like a beginner's course. Step 1. If you've ever tried any of the things I mentioned, let me know in the comments if they worked for you or not, or if you've used another technique that might help other guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do that here. And if you want to keep watching more videos on similar topics, go ahead and click on any of the ones showing up here. Hope to see you in the next video.